Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. This is Steph Lee, the founder of Host Agency Reviews. Thank you so much for joining us for the Friday 15, where every Friday, 12 p.m. Central Time, the HAR team answers the questions you have submitted, and you can submit them by going to hostagencyreviews.com/Friday15. We'll also link to it in the show notes. Now, today we have on a guest. Those of you that are on YouTube can see who it is. Those of you on audio are going to have to guess. I'm going to have her say hello and then see if you can guess who she is. Okay.
Wow, this is amazing. It's kind of like Name That Tune from back in the day. Can you guess who the mystery guest is? Hello, everybody. It's so good to see you and be with you. Hopefully.
Okay. For those of you that were thinking, that's Jenn Lee. You are correct, except for she's coming at us from a different angle. So she was previously over at Travel Planners. She is now the president of Vacation Planners, which is the franchise division of Travel Planners International. So Jenn, welcome and happy new role.
Thank you so very much. I'm like 6, 7, 8 weeks into the new role and just like, it is so fun launching something brand new. The excitement, and I'm exhausted. For those of you that can watch, that can see me, my eyes. I'm not even blowing out my hair right now, Steph. I am just going curly. I don't have any time to look cute today.
You look cute. Curls are cute. Curls are in now.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's see. Before we get started, wanting to go over a couple things because there's a lot. Okay, I'm going to tell you all, we have a lot of webinars coming up in the next couple months. We had a little bit of a summer break, but we're coming back at you. So first of all, I know a lot of you may be at Virtual So Travel Week and wrapping things up this week. So I hope you had a great time. If you were there, if you missed it or didn't know about it, make sure to check out our events calendar. Has over 100 different events in the travel industry. We'll link to it in the show notes. And then we'll also link to a resource for you on how to make the most of your travel conference if you've never been to one, because you need to go in with a plan. Otherwise, they're overwhelming and you're not going to be utilizing all the resources that you put into it.
I've read that resource. It's very good.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so webinars we have coming up. We have 2 from the Hive. The first one is going to be August 21st. We'll put the time and everything in the comments as well as a link to register. But that is how to curate a personalized selection of cruise itineraries for client proposals. And then let's see, the following week on Thursday, August 29th, they are going to put on a webinar on 10 things to ask a quote unquote new to you DMC, which is a destination management company. If you don't know what the DMC is, or you've been having trouble working with DMCs and figuring out how to build relationships, that's a great one to tune into. Let's see. The following week, we have TPI Travel Planners International's webinar with Dave. He's going to be doing holiday travel do's and don'ts as a selling travel advisor. So check that out in the show notes. And then we have next week, let's see, next Wednesday.
Yeah.
We have Vacation Planners with Jenn Lee. She is going to be doing Securing Your Legacy, the crucial role of succession planning for travel advisors. So Jenn, I've got a couple things on this. Succession planning, not everybody knows what it is. What does that mean?
Right. And a lot of times, I'm so glad you asked that question because, you know, it really, what we're finding is when travel advisors enter the industry, they're pretty excited about setting goals, right? They want to set goals for their business. Maybe they set sales goals, but succession planning is understanding that there may be a time, and it will come, whether you choose it to or not choose it to, there's going to be a time where you might not be able to run your business any longer. And so your question to ask yourself is, am I ready for that? And it could be, am I ready because I know I want to sell my business? Am I ready because I was building it in the beginning to pass it on to somebody? Or unfortunately, what we see happen is you're not ready, but it's ready for you. Something happens in your personal life, maybe something physical with you. And all of a sudden your business is left there like hanging out there all by itself. Consumers are left without their travel advisor. Commissions are not being followed up on. Bookings are not being taken care of. So I'm going to lay out probably 5 or 6 things that a travel advisor can be thinking about right now and really should put into place actionable things for you to put into place right now so that you have a succession plan. So whether you proactively say you're ready to walk away or something happens that forces it, you are ready. And it's really important now because there's a lot of people who are ready to sell their businesses and they want to sell it to other agency owners who have done this work already. In other words, they want to make sure their babies, their clients are well taken care of and are being put into the hands of someone who thinks long-term, not necessarily just in the immediate reactive.
That succession planning, I think, I'm so glad you're talking about it because I remember when I first started in the industry, probably within my first 2 years, I watched a webinar on like selling a company and how to prepare for it. And I remember thinking, oh, this is good for like way down the road when I was working at my parents' agency. But when I started my company, a couple of years in, some of you may know I have like some pretty serious health issues, and I didn't do anything with my site for 2 years. I didn't think about succession planning at all in the beginning. And so when I got sick and couldn't work for 2 years, there was no one to take things over. I hadn't set up SOPs. I didn't know how to communicate. I wasn't able to communicate to anybody any of this information. And that, I was very healthy beforehand. So it's even if you're perfectly healthy and you've got these grand plans, life sometimes throws you different things. So if you can, attend Jenn's webinar, even if you're just starting out, because if I were able to do it over, I would start building these things out in the very beginning. So you're not at the very end when you need to sell, you're going to be ready.
Well, and I would just say, just real quick, because I know we want to get to the questions, but I would also say it's really the core of this is how do you answer the question, what am I building towards? And it's not building towards retirement. It's I'm building to sell my business one day. I'm building to be in the position to acquire somebody else's business, which is huge right now, or I'm building to be able to make sure that I hand it down to one of my family members. And it's not just the financial aspect to it; it's even just short-term succession planning. What do you do if you get sick and something happens and you can't answer your phone for 2 weeks? What are those SOPs? What's your backup plan? So we'll talk all about that. So
yeah, crazy important. So if you can attend it, whether you're experienced or just getting started, it's great to have that information. Even if you can't act on it right now, to know that information is crucial.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, let's jump into questions. So question 1 from Rajan M. Hello, I would like to know about a host agency called, and I like this because it's in all caps, Magical Vacation Planner.
Yes.
I cannot find reviews about this host agency on your list. Please help. Thank you. So Jenn, obviously you may or may not know about Magical Vacation Planner. I did not know about them personally, but what I'd like to do is for Rajan, talk about so first of all, on our site, so people understand, the host agency list, it's free to list. So Magical Vacation Planners can get listed on the site for free. But if you can't find them on the site, that kind of poses a problem. So what would you suggest prospective ICs do if they can't find information?
I've heard of this company, but I don't want to speak about this company because I didn't do any research, but I have heard of this company. So it's a legit company name for sure. I would say probably one of the first things is it possible that it's not really a host agency, right? Maybe what it is a travel agency that has people that they put onto their team. Back in the day at TPI, one of our largest agency, who he did not refer to himself as a host, had 340 ICs. 340 travel advisors that were on his team. The definition of a host agency is an agency whose main, and this is based on PATH, Professional Association of Travel Hosts, whose main focus and source of business is supporting other travel advisors, not necessarily booking travel themselves. That's the true definition of a host agency. Now, I've heard this company name before, so I would also maybe jump onto a Facebook group that I know of that's called Travel Agents Helping Travel Agents and see if anybody on there has heard of that company. I think there's thousands of travel advisors on that Facebook group.
Yeah, and I'm going to have Abby link to that in the comments as well. So yeah, that's another great thing. If you're chatting with them, Rajan, I would also ask for some testimonials from some of their advisors, or if you can find some just by Googling like magical vacation planners, travel agent, or if they have a
Mhm.
list of their advisors. I
Yes.
did take a look at their site, and so this is just a random piece of knowledge for people, but it looks like they're a Disney focused host, and their name sounds like it as well. But one thing that I've learned being host agency reviews is Disney host agencies are a little bit different.
Yes.
They kind of operate outside, I don't want to say operate outside normal host agencies, but they do things a little differently. And one, they're probably not listed on the site because if you're focused on Disney, Disney has something where if you're a host agency, you can't be an authorized vacation planner, which is a big deal in the Disney world. You cannot be one if you're advertising yourself as a host.
Mm.
So that's why a lot of the big Disney hosts aren't on that site, aren't on our site. It's because Disney legal team is very active and very busy, and they will reach out to you for any infraction that they find. And so that's probably what's going on with magical vacation planners, but they also do things a little differently. A lot of them will give leads to their
Mhm.
advisors, and a lot of them will have you operate underneath their name and
Mhm.
use their email addresses.
Correct.
So that's something to be aware of if you want to be building your own brand.
Mhm.
Check on the leads. Do they belong to you if you decide to leave, or do they belong to this host agency?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and the other thing I would say, I'm going to put a link into our article about IC misclassifications, and I'm not saying magical vacation planners is misclassifying. What I will say is having your independent contractors use your name if it's not a franchise like vacation planners, and having them use the emails. And if you're getting all the leads, that puts you, there's certain check
There's a
boxes.
line. There's a line
Yeah.
that can get easily blurred. And it's really important. This is one of the things ASTA fights for on every travel advisor's and independent contractor's behalf is, to make sure that line isn't blurred. But yeah, that's great that you have that. I've heard the company name before. I'm drawing a blank who the owner is. You can Google them, as Steph said, and look at their Google business profile. Hopefully they have a Google business profile page, which every company should have one. And then see if there's reviews on there.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Search around online. And then, yeah, definitely let them know they can get listed on the site. They probably don't want to and are doing that on purpose, but you can let them know.
Yeah.
So, next question is from Jenn C. Jen says, I understand some suppliers don't pay the host until after the travel date, but I found some suppliers like FareBuzz, Celebrity Cruises, Virgin Voyages, and Allianz pay the month after the sale or after the final payment is made. So
Mm-hmm.
I also know that some hosts pay out their agents biweekly, weekly, or monthly. And I'm curious to know the industry standard for how soon after a host agency gets a commission from the supplier would they pay the independent agent. So for you, Jen, what are you doing?
At vacation planners as a franchise, they'll get paid twice a month. When we get paid, they get paid. That last part of the question, what's the industry standard? There is no real industry standard because everybody operates a little differently. Here's the question to ask your host agency. Do they pay you when they get paid, right? Now that doesn't mean on Tuesday when the commission comes in, all of a sudden you're getting paid on that following Wednesday. There's them getting paid. Then the next cycle is reconciling that commission. In other words, matching the commission that's come in with the advisor that it's due to. And then from there, then it's dispersing that commission from there. Some host agencies, and they do it because they want to make sure their advisors don't get hit with chargebacks with cancellations, but some host agencies hold on to the commission until after travel, whether they get paid ahead of time or not. Some host
Mhm.
agencies, I know at TPI, when TPI got paid, the advisor got paid after reconciliation. So there is not really an industry standard, and there's no wrong way. The reason why the host agencies hold on until after travel or after final payment is because they don't want you to have to be responsible to give that commission back, because that supplier will recall that commission if they're able to with a cancellation.
That's perfect. So a couple things, I'm going to share my screen here. So this is Vacation Planner's profile, and every host agency franchise will have this. And under pricing and commission, you'll be able to find out the frequency of
Mhm.
how they pay and then the method that they pay.
Yep.
So that's a great thing to know. The other thing I wanted to share is, let me see, what did I want to share in this? Oh, um, so Jenn had reached out, well, not Jenn that's our guest, but Jenn that asked this question had reached out to me after she submitted this question. And what's happening is she's not getting paid by the host agency, and that's why she's asking this
Got it.
question.
Mhm.
And so to
It
give a
should
little
be in our
more,
contract. It should be in our contract.
yeah, and in the contract it says, like, she sent it over. She doesn't want to
Yeah.
say who the host is, but in the contract it says after within 30 days after the host agency receives the commission from the supplier, they will pay it out.
Okay.
But they haven't done that. So my answer to her was there's a couple things that could be going on. One is it could not be matched properly,
Mhm.
the reconciliation that Jen's talking about, and that can make it so that your commissions aren't paid on time.
Correct.
Um, the other thing is they might be holding on to them. In this particular person's case, it's it's past the cancellation and they have insurance, so they should pay out the money. But in some situations, they may not pay out the money if it's paid before travel because of these commission recalls that might come if the client travels. It was a huge issue during COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Massive.
yeah, it was a hot mess. So,
I would just
so
say the contract, it should clearly state that in your contract. If it doesn't clearly state that, then that is a challenge, right? Because host agencies, you have a contract for a reason, they should follow it. The reconciliation is what I find a lot of people run into. They don't submit their sale on time, they submit it late, they don't put the right number in, they don't put the right expected, there's a variety of things. Is this a travel partner that for sure has actually paid the host agency, right? It's possible that the travel partner says, I'll give you an example. There'll be a cruise line. I won't name the cruise line. It's nothing negative, but a cruise line, if you call in to the accounting, they'll say, yeah, we paid that commission. But that just means at the call center, they see it paid. That doesn't mean it's actually been dispersed to the host agency yet. It could take another 3 weeks sometimes. So
mhm.
I think, is this a series of one-offs with one particular travel partner? Is this an ongoing thing? Pick up the phone and call the accounting manager or the owner of the host agency or whoever the senior executive is and find out.
Yeah, and one thing we encourage people, if you are having problems where your host isn't paying commissions, whether it be nefarious or not,
Right.
um, reach out to us. Number one, we have a great article on what to do if your host isn't paying commissions that we will link to in the show notes. But also let us know, because on our end, there's been a couple host agencies that have been nefarious and been using funds in ways they shouldn't have. And for us, people will get people start writing in. So we know there's problems before they happen.
Right.
Now, we don't put up a big poster on our site, but
Right.
it's great for us to be able to possibly let people know if they're interested in that host agency and contacting them. So,
Absolutely.
um,
Just
other
power.
things, yeah, I'm going to link to two other resources. One is our article on commissions. If you're not familiar with them, how commissions work, what the average commissions amount are. And then Jenn brought up the contract with the host agency, which is so important, and
Mhm.
making sure it has these key components, one of them being when are they going to pay you the
Right.
commissions that come in? So we'll link to our article on what to look for in contracts, what are red flags for contracts, so people can make educated decisions there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Jenn, I
Yeah.
can't, we're wrapping up our time here. So tell me, you have new contact information. How do people get a hold of you now?
Yes, it's so easy. My email address is so much easier than it used to be. It's Jenn, Jenn, at vacationplanners.com. And I was sharing with Steph before we got started. We haven't even really started advertising for vacation planners. Some of you I might have seen like one Facebook ad, and we have over 100 people interested, and we already have the first 10 committed to our founder circle. So the founder circle will be the first 50 experienced travel advisors who are going to help us launch vacation planners, the national brand, everything. And I just couldn't be more excited to talk to so many people that are interested in building a business within a brand. And Steph, I'm a bit of a sappy sap girl over here. To me, this is not about just launching a franchise model, a new business model. This is not about a new brand. I really see the way we are building this and who's going to be part of it. We are going to meet our goal, which is to elevate the professionalism within the industry by taking the best practices of yesteryear, that retail location that was in your community, that corner travel agency, infusing what today and tomorrow's travel agency really is, so that the consumer can finally have a reasonable expectation of what their experience is going to be when they hire a travel advisor. We're too mishmash, scattered, splattered. Everybody does it differently. It's no wonder the darn customer has no idea, the consumer has no idea what the heck you guys do, because nobody does it the same. So we're going to make big changes in this industry, and it's all for the positive, all for the future, for the legacy. That's why I'm high on legacy now.
That's awesome. So I just want to say a couple quick things, give a little plug to vacation planners here, because it is new and I know a lot of you don't know about it. So Jenn, just a couple things. One, it's experienced advisors only, right?
Correct. That for starting, I'm not even going to be talking to new to the industry until second quarter of next year.
And you are going to be building this consumer-facing brand, and then you are going to be providing leads and giving those to the franchise members.
Yeah, we really like to look at it. Yes, you'll be exposed everywhere, but really, I think what sets our particular approach apart is we're doing all the marketing for you. And I'm not talking about national marketing, but you'll have each franchisee will have a dedicated marketing specialist that will work one-on-one with each franchisee to create reels, carousels, blog posts, website landing pages, flyers, anything that you need to help market your specific agency in your voice based on what's important to you. And then the second part is that we will have kick butt technology integrated. So we have partnered with Turn, who are the masters of technology. TERN. If you haven't checked them out, go ahead, whether you're with vacation planners or not, you can do that. But Turn is working very closely with us to integrate all the AI and the technology and things that nobody even knows to think, to ask, that think that's possible. The folks at Turn are already way ahead of the game. So things like email integration, where you get a confirmation from a travel partner and it sucks it right into your quote for you. Oh, how exciting. So anyways, we're working with them to ensure that all workflows, automations, legal documents, everything's already done and uploaded and updated on the regular. So the idea is to take all the lifting of technology and marketing and back office support off your hands so you can focus on building the massive impact you really want to make in your community. So we're really excited, and it's a message that people are realizing. I didn't get into this business to become a master marketer. I didn't get into this business to understand workflows and automations. I got into this business because I'm passionate about helping people travel right. And so we're creating an opportunity for them to do that.
Excellent. We're going to link to Turn for people that want to learn. Great company.
Yes.
And then Jenn, I know people were supposed to be 15 minutes, but I just have one more question because I'm curious, and I'm hoping that everyone listening in is a little curious as well. So really quickly, in like a minute, who is a good fit? Obviously an experienced advisor, but like going from having your own brand to having a vacation planner's brand, like who's a good fit for this?
It's the person that realizes you are your brand. It really has nothing to do with the name of your company, Susie's Travel. Nobody really is buying from Susie. Nobody here is IBM, Apple, or Starbucks. Sorry. So you are the brand, number one. The perfect person is the one that every single day looks at their desk and says, oh yeah, that's right. I got to get the email newsletter out. Oh yeah, that's right. AI is here and I need to make sure my carousels or my reels are on top of it. Oh yeah, I need to make sure that I'm sending my email confirmations. They wake up every day, and if they look at their pie of time, more and more, it's that back office marketing and support that's taking over, and they're exhausted. They're exhausted. They are working 18 hours a day. And we're finding that sweet spot is somebody who's doing at least $400,000 a year, or is smart enough to know I'm doing 250 and I'm already overwhelmed. They're jumping on board. But it really is. This is about the person that just wakes up and says, I didn't get into this business to do all of this. Why do I have to do it? Well, because you're having to constantly talk about your business and your brand. Let us do all of that for you. That's who's attracted to it.
Yeah, excellent. Well, we will link to Vacation Planner's profile as well as the website. I'm also going to link to an article on like what a franchise is for those that have never even thought about that as an option. So you can explore that as well. And Jenn, thank you so much for joining us.
Always. It's such a pleasure. And I can't wait to share lots of wisdom about legacy planning on the 21st.
Oh yeah, don't forget everyone, check out the show notes and sign up for the webinar. Okay, upcoming for Friday 15s next week, August 23rd is Uniglobe Travel Center. April Swales will be joining us. August 30th, Outside Agents Chad Burt is going to be back. And September 6th, we will have KHM Travel Group on. It is either going to be Carolyn or actually, I think it's just going to be Carolyn. I was trying to think. So Carolyn will be on. Hopefully you all can join us. And again, thank you for joining us for the Friday 15. We will see you next Friday, 12 p.m. Central Time. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Take care, everyone.